A vacation turned into a nightmare when my husband announced, "I transferred your savings to my family's account." His brother laughed and said, "Consider it your contribution to us." I pretended to cry, then smiled and said, "Funny, I just transferred something too." Their phones buzzed, and the horror in their eyes said it all. I, 36 female, have been married to Derek, 38 male, for 6 years. I should have seen the signs earlier. His family was always around. Not in a supportive way. More like an invasive species. His parents, his brother Ethan, 40 male, and his brother's wife Sophie, 35 female, were attached to him like barnacles. They were entitled. No, worse than entitled. They thought Derek was the golden child who would take care of them, and by extension, so would I. From the beginning, his family had little emergencies that needed money. Ethan's car broke down. Sophie's medical bills. Their parents' mortgage. Always something. And Derek? He gave. I had a solid job as an accountant. I was careful with money, I planned ahead, and I saved. I thought Derek respected that. Then little things started happening. I'd noticed money missing from our joint account. Not huge amounts, but enough. He always had an excuse. I helped Ethan with rent this month. Mom needed a little extra for groceries. Sophie's car broke down, again. I told him it had to stop. I made it clear, I would not be supporting his family. He agreed. Said he understood. Promised it wouldn't happen again. It happened again. And again. I stopped putting money into our joint account. I made sure all my savings were in my personal account. I didn't tell him how much I had. I thought that was enough. I was so wrong. Derek suggested we take a vacation. Just us, no family. He offered to cover the flights, so I booked the resort in the Maldives. It was beautiful. White sand. Clear water. 5-star everything. The kind of place you go when you want to forget about real life. The first 2 days were paradise. Sunset dinners, boat rides, drinks by the beach. Then, on the third night, we sat down for dinner at a private cabana. The kind with lanterns and candles and soft music. Derek took my hands, smiled, and said, "I transferred your savings to my family's account." Just like that. No shame. No hesitation. Just a smile. My whole body went cold. I couldn't breathe. Then Ethan, the leech that he is, chuckled and said, "Consider it your contribution to us." Sophie smirked. They were all in on it. They were celebrating. Derek squeezed my hands, still grinning, and said, "It was the right thing to do. Babe. Family takes care of each other. Family takes care of each other." But I wasn't family. I was the wallet. I pulled my hands back. My vision blurred. My heart pounded. Everything in me screamed to fight. To scream. To grab the nearest bottle of wine and smash it over his head. But I didn't. I smiled. I let my hands shake. I let my voice break. I let my eyes well up. Then, in the smallest, softest voice, I said, "Funny. I just transferred something too." Ethan frowned first. Then Sophie's phone lit up. Then Derek's. One by one, their smiles disappeared. What the F? Ethan's voice cracked. He grabbed his phone. Derek's hand shot to his pocket. He pulled out his phone, tapped the screen, and froze. Sophie gasped. Then, the real fun began. I had been waiting for this. Derek never actually had access to my personal savings. But they were sloppy. Over the years, I had collected passwords, security answers, little breadcrumbs they left behind. So, while they were busy robbing me, I had been robbing them right back. All of Ethan's accounts? Wiped. The trust fund his parents set up? Transferred. Their joint emergency savings? Gone. Derek's separate account? Drained. I had used Ethan's money to pay off my mortgage. I had made large donations in their names to charities that support victims of financial abuse. And, just to make it fun, I downgraded their flights home to economy because, whoops, their credit cards weren't working anymore. The moment Ethan saw his balance, he snapped. "Where is it?" he roared. Sophie let out a choked sound. It's gone." Derek was still staring at his screen, his whole body stiff. "No," he whispered. No, I took a sip of wine. "You stole from me," I said calmly. "So I stole from you." Ethan slammed his fists on the table so hard the plates rattled. Sophie burst into tears. Derek just stared at me, his mouth opening and closing like a fish. Security was already making their way over because Ethan looked like he was about to flip the damn table. Derek turned to me, pleading now. "You love me," he said desperately. "You wouldn't do this to me." I leaned in. "You never loved me," I whispered. "You loved my money." And then I stood up. I wasn't done yet. I turned away from the table, leaving them in their chaos. My heart was racing, but I kept my head high, walking calmly back to the resort. I knew they would come after me. And they did. I barely made it to my villa before Derek grabbed my wrist. "Where's the money?" he hissed. His face was red. his eyes wild. He had always been the smooth talker, the calm one, but now he looked like a man with everything to lose. I yanked my arm free. Gone, I said simply. You have to fix this, he said through clenched teeth. Ethan, he's losing his mind. He's calling the bank, the police, I laughed. I actually laughed. The police? I crossed my arms. You mean, the ones who would love to hear how you stole from your own wife? The ones who will definitely be interested in Ethan's tax fraud? Those police? Derek swallowed hard. He knew. I stepped closer, keeping my voice low. You thought you could rob me and walk away? You thought I'd just sit there and cry? You've known me for 6 years, Derek. And you still underestimated me. I saw it then, the moment it truly hit him. The fear. He stepped back, running a shaking hand through his hair. You don't understand, he said, his voice cracking. Ethan, he's not just mad. He's dangerous. I tilted my head. Oh! He knows people. Bad people. If we don't fix this, it won't just be a lawsuit, it'll be worse. A lot worse. For the first time, I hesitated. Ethan was shady. He had always been the kind of guy who knew a guy. He bragged about slipping out of trouble, about favors people owed him. I had ignored it before. Now my stomach twisted. But I didn't let Derek see it. Not my problem, I said, shoving past him into the villa. I locked the door behind me. Then I grabbed my phone. It wasn't even an hour before I heard voices outside. Loud. Angry. Ethan. Sophie's voice was high-pitched, panicked. We have to talk to her. We can't leave like this. I peered through the window. They were pacing. Ethan was furious. His face was twisted, his hands clenched into fists. Then I saw him pull something from his pocket. I couldn't see what it was, but Sophie gasped. That's when I knew. This wasn't just about money anymore. I needed to leave. I grabbed my suitcase, shoved everything inside, and called the front desk. Hi, this is room 214. I need a car to the airport. Now. The receptionist hesitated. Ma'am, your reservation isn't set to check out, I don't care. Get me a car. I'll tip double. Right away, ma'am. I exhaled. Good. I just needed to get to the airport, get on the next flight home, and a knock at the door. Loud. Demanding. Open the door, now. Ethan. I backed away. My phone buzzed. Derek, let them in. We can fix this. Derek, please, baby. We just need to talk. No way. I grabbed my bags and headed to the back door. But as soon as I opened it, there was someone else waiting. A tall man, dressed too casually for a resort. Not a staff member. Not a guest. I took a step back. Who are you? I demanded. He didn't answer. Just stared at me. Then he pulled out a phone and made a call. Yeah, she's here. My blood went ice cold. I slammed the door shut. This wasn't just revenge anymore. This was something else. And I had no idea how deep it went. My breath came fast and sharp. My hands trembled as I locked the door. This wasn't just a bad situation anymore. It was dangerous. Who the hell was that guy? Ethan had always been shady, but hiring someone? That was new. I grabbed my phone, my fingers shaking as I scrolled through my contacts. I needed help. Someone. Anyone. My best friend Rachel. She was a lawyer. I froze. My phone had no signal. I ran to the window and checked the Wi-Fi icon. Nothing. They had cut me off. A knock at the door. Then a voice, low and smooth. You can come out, sweetheart. Let's not make this harder than it has to be. Not Ethan. Not Derek. The guy outside. I backed away from the door. This wasn't just about them being mad. This was something else. Something bigger. I had underestimated how far Ethan was willing to go. I had taken all their personal money, their emergency funds, their trust accounts. But there was one account I hadn't touched. Ethan's offshore account. I knew about it. Found it by accident a year ago when Derek was drunk and left his laptop open. The numbers didn't make sense. The bank name was one I had never heard of. I had done some digging. Ethan wasn't just shady. He was criminally shady. Money laundering. Wire fraud. He wasn't just avoiding taxes, he was working with actual criminals. I had ignored it at the time. I figured it wasn't my problem. Now I realized I had walked straight into something I didn't understand. I needed to get out. But my options were bad. Front door? Ethan and Sophie. Back door? Mystery man. Wi-Fi? Dead. Phone signal? Gone. I took a deep breath. Think. There was only one thing left to do. I unlocked the door. Ethan was mid-argument with Sophie when I stepped out. The second he saw me, his face lit up with rage. Where is the money? He growled, stepping toward me. I held up a hand. You have 5 seconds to listen to me before I start talking. Talking to who? Ethan scoffed. You don't have a signal, sweetheart. I smirked. I recorded everything. That got their attention. Derek stiffened. Sophie visibly paled. You're bluffing, Ethan snapped. I pulled out my phone, opened the voice memos, and pressed play. Derek's voice filled the air. I transferred your savings to my family's account. Then Ethan's, consider it your contribution to us. Ethan's mouth snapped shut. I kept my voice calm, controlled. You will let me walk out of here. You will let me get on that plane. And if you so much as breathe near me again, I send this to the authorities. Silence. Ethan's jaw ticked. His nostrils flared. I saw the moment his mind started calculating. Then Sophie moved. Fast. Too fast. She grabbed my wrist and yanked me forward. She has more, she said, her nails digging into my skin. Sophie, don't. Derek started. Shut up, Derek, she snapped. That's when it hit me. Sophie wasn't just in on it. She was desperate. She was more scared than Ethan. And that was interesting. I let Sophie drag me toward the beachside pathway. My mind raced. What was she so afraid of? I decided to push. You don't look mad, I said. You look terrified. She didn't respond. What does Ethan owe? I pressed. Who does he owe? Sophie stiffened. Bingo. It wasn't just about their money. It was about someone else's money. And that meant one thing. Ethan wasn't just in trouble. He was in debt. And whoever he owed was coming. We reached the resort parking lot. A black car was parked near the entrance. The mystery man from before leaned against it, smoking. I heard Sophie swallow hard. They're already here, aren't they? I asked. She didn't answer. That was the answer. I exhaled. This wasn't just about my revenge anymore. Ethan had screwed over people who were much, much worse than me. And now? Now I had two choices. Run. Or make the biggest gamble of my life. Sophie's grip on my arm tightened. You don't want to do this, she whispered. You don't know who you're messing with. Funny, I said. That's exactly what I was thinking about Ethan. The man by the car, dark suit, cold eyes, calm as a loaded gun, sighed and flicked his cigarette away. He wasn't just some hired muscle. No, this was someone important. Someone dangerous. We had a deal, Ethan, the man said, his voice smooth but sharp. Yet here I am. Ethan looked sick. His usual arrogance was gone. Derek grabbed my wrist suddenly, his fingers digging into my skin. Fix this, he hissed. You started it. You fix it. My skin crawled. You stole from me, Derek, I said, my voice steady. I just stole back. This? This is all you. Ethan was sweating. He turned to the man by the car. We can get it, he blurted. We just need more time. The man took a single step forward. Ethan, shut up. No more time, the man said simply. No more lies. He glanced at me then. An assessment. Calculating. You took their money, didn't you? He asked. I smiled. I did. Ethan flinched. Then we have a problem, the man said. Derek, ever the coward, tried to turn on the charm. Look, we can work something out, he said. We're reasonable people. Maybe the man raised a hand. Derek, shut up. Then he turned to me again. Do you have it? He asked. No, I lied. It wasn't a complete lie. Most of it was already moved, invested, hidden under so many layers of security that not even Derek at his most manipulative could touch it. But I had kept a small amount liquid. Enough to use if I needed to. The man studied me. Ethan's breathing was erratic now. He knew what was coming. Then someone has to pay. And then, so fast I barely processed it, the man pulled out a gun. Pointed it at Ethan. Sophie screamed. Derek staggered back like a coward. Ethan collapsed to his knees. Wait. Wait. Ethan begged. I didn't move. I should have been scared. Maybe I was. But after everything, after being treated like nothing more than a walking ATM, after Derek smiled in my face while robbing me blind, after Sophie helped, I felt nothing. Please. Ethan was sobbing now. Please, we can fix this. The man tilted his head. Then he turned to me again. You took their money, he said, but you're not the idiot who lost it. I'm feeling generous. I'll give you a choice. I arched a brow. I take the money from you, he continued, or I take it from them. Sophie collapsed into tears. Derek went sheet white. Ethan just screamed. Choose, sweetheart, the man said. It's your move. Derek lunged for me again, grabbing my arm. You have it, he hissed. Just give it to them. Sophie, now sobbing, clawed at my sleeve. Please, she begged. Please, 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 and Ethan? Ethan turned on me. This is your fault, he spat, his face twisted in rage. You owe us. You married into this family. You don't just get to walk away. That did it. I laughed. I laughed so hard I had to wipe tears from my eyes. You still don't get it, do you? I said, looking between them. I don't owe you anything. Sophie wailed. Derek cracked. Just give it to them, damn it. The gun pressed against Ethan's forehead. Last chance, the man said. And that's when I smiled. I don't negotiate with thieves, I said. Then I turned and walked away. Derek screamed my name. Sophie collapsed. And Ethan? I didn't look back. I don't know if Ethan made it out of that parking lot. I didn't stick around to find out. The moment I left the resort, I booked a flight. First class. No connections. Straight home. By the time I landed, I had blocked all their numbers. Derek? He tried. Oh, he tried so hard. Emails. Fake social media accounts. Even a handwritten letter, begging me to fix it. Then the threats started. You'll regret this. I will ruin you. You have no idea what you've done. And my personal favorite, I still love you. I sent everything to my lawyer. Derek was slapped with fraud charges. Ethan? I never heard from him again. Sophie left him. Ran back to her parents. And me? I sat in my paid-off house, sipping expensive wine, watching Derek's life burn to the ground. Because karma isn't a bitch. I am.